Hi everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new video and a brand new episode of stuff that I could be bothered to watch. Yeah, this is where I go through everything that I have watched for the last couple of weeks. Okay, so let's get started, and let's get started on a nerve-wracking one. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so back in 1999, a little found film footage, film came out called The Blair Witch Project. And I remember seeing this. I never saw it at the cinema, but I remember seeing this on DVD. It scared the crap out of me. It really did. It unnerved me for days. And yeah, I got goosebumps, especially at the ending of this, with the figure in the corner of the room. So it was a really scary film for me. Not to mention, of course, old Drippy Nose. I'm so sorry. I'm so scared. I'm so scared to close my eyes. I'm so scared to open my eyes. I'm so scared to drip bogies all over my t-shirt. Yeah, so that was the Blair Witch Project. Years later, who knew that they would actually come out with a new one? This is just called Blair Witch. This kind of follows the same path. This is about a group of friends, documentary makers, that decide to go into the same hills the other lot did. But that's asking for trouble to start with. Because one of the guys in this, I think his name is James, he's actually the brother of old Drippy Nose. I'm so sorry. And he wants to go into the woods and see if he can find his sister and try and piece together all this mystery about this Blair Witch. Yeah, so basically these guys head out into the hills. It is kind of like told the same way, you know, with jerky cameras. Although this one probably used a high-8 camera and this one uses a DV, a digital camera. So same jerkiness, but a little bit better picture quality. Yeah, and of course they camp out in the forest in the dark, like only an idiot would do. They start hearing noises all around them and weird things start to happen. There's a couple of guides that go with them that kind of vanish off into the distance, into the jungle somewhere. But they've got all the mod cons this time. So they've got, you know, like sat nav, and they've got drones and stuff like that, but it doesn't really help them. Yeah, there's a lot of tension, especially on the night scenes when they've got these tents all set up. Noises all around you in the jungle. And I've got to say, this probably unnerved me more than this did. Bloody hell. Yes, for several reasons. The tension was really good on this. There were scenes that a claustrophobic would cream their pants in over this. When as you know, at the end of this film, they found this house. They find the house again in this one, and holy bloody shit. Yes, so there's caverns underneath, there's tunnels, you're getting stuck in tunnels, crawling around. There's noises coming out of everywhere. There's trees snapping. There's doors slamming. There's figures running around this house. It's scary as shit. It really is. It doesn't help. This bastard is in Dolby Atmos. So if someone is banging on the floor upstairs, someone is banging on the floor up bloody stairs. Yes. So this was really creepy. A lot more tension, a lot more scary action. You get to see this horrible figure towards the end of the film that freaked the shit out of me. And I got goosebumps again, like I did with this one back in the day. With Dolby Atmos, holy shit. It's like everything was banging everywhere in the jungle. Trees were snapping there, bloody everywhere. And oh, the use of the subwoofer as well, really, really deep, scary as shit. Yeah, so basically this unnerved me, to say it politely. To say it not politely, it scared the shit out of me. Yes, oh my God. You horror people, you horror fans, you're a bunch of weirdos. What makes you want to watch shit like this? I mean, I'm not saying it's shit as a film, but holy bloody bollocks. Yes. Holy crap. Yes. Oh my God. It's just tension after tension. Things happen. There was one scene in this where someone actually got snapped in half. I kid you not. Their body literally snapped in half. Yeah, but it was scary throughout the film when shit started happening in these tents and around, and tents flying up into the sky. And but when they got to the house, I could barely breathe. Holy shit. Yes. I think if I was in that situation and I had a gun, I'd blow my bloody brains out to get out of that situation. Oh my God. Yeah, anyway, this was scary. This was scary. I know what you're saying. Oh, you wimp, you can't watch anything. For me, you know what happened with Insidious. Holy shit. Yeah, I think this was more of the, there's more jump scares in this. You know, it is tension and it is all these sounds that are happening, but it's all these jump scares. And when you're seeing only minimal of the surroundings because you've just got like a little flashlight, you know, a flashlight comes in handy, especially for old Drippy Nose. I'm so sorry. But yeah, there was a lot of tension. I really enjoyed this film, but it scared the shit out of me. So if you do like horror, definitely watch this. Do you know what? I actually think this might be superior to this. Yeah, definitely. I mean, for this one, you don't get old Drippy Nose. They make a great pair. Oh my goodness me. Yes, fantastic. So there we go. So that is Blair Witch. Yeah, if you're into your horror, definitely give it a go. If you like the original Blair Witch Project, give it a go. If you like tunnelling underground and getting stuck, give it a go. If you like anybody with drippy noses, give it a go. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that film, even though it scared the shit out of me. Right, okay, let's move on. Thought someone was watching me then. Yes. Next up, Truman Show. Yes, starring Jim Carrey, directed by Peter Weir. We also have Ed Harris in this as well, and Paul Giamatti. This was a very unique story, very unusual to anything that we've seen before. We can thank this for The Only Way is Essex and Big Brother and Get Me Out of Here and The Real Housewives of Orange County. Thanks very much. Yes, this was bloody good, this was. So this is about the character of Truman Burbank, played by Jim Carrey, who lives in this this little town. Wow. Yeah, who lives in this little town, seaside town, and just goes about his daily life. He's got his job. He's an insurance guy. He's got a desk job. He goes for his coffee, goes to buy his magazines. But it all starts to change on one morning when something kind of like falls out of the sky. And they blame it on some part of an aeroplane that fell. But after that, everything kind of... There's something not quite right about this idyllic little place where everything tries to stop him from getting out of this town. And the story is written around this character. Basically, this little place is reality TV. You've got your production crew, the cameramen. It's kind of all enclosed under this big dome where the rest of the world are watching his life, right from the day he was born right through to the last day. Every encounter he has, every person he interacts with, they're all actors. This entire setup of this town, they're all actors placed there for this show to interact with him and to make it an entertaining day in the life of Truman Burbank. And the entire world is watching it. So it is the #1 reality show of the world. The Jim Carrey was absolutely fantastic in this. One of his best performances. And all the rest of the cast were great as well. Even the production team, you know, Paul Giamatti and Ed Harris, who created The Truman Show. And every time he runs into like a stumbling block, they kind of write the story around him. But he really wants to get away. He wants to get out. He wants to leave this little place. Wants to go to Fiji. And just one day he does. And they try to do everything they possibly can to stop him leaving. Right up until the last minute, where Truman encounters the limits of his story. So yeah, this was really good. It was gripping, it was funny, it had all the elements that we've come to, well, I wouldn't say come to love, but the elements of what makes reality TV. And it's just like watching someone's entire life from start to finish. And this little idyllic place, you know, is equipped with thousands and thousands of cameras, whether it be in his shirt, anywhere in the house, in the streets, everywhere there's a camera where they can get a different angle and they can broadcast the Truman Show to the rest of the world. So yeah, this was brilliant. This was absolutely brilliant. It's right up there. It's one of Jim Carrey's best films, one of his best performances. It's also a little bit sad in places towards the end. There's a potential love interest that's threatening to destroy, you know, this Truman Show. But it's a good ending. It's a fulfilling ending, and it's a perfect ending. So that is The Truman Show. If you haven't watched it, I urge you to watch it. Because it's not like something you've seen before. It's its own unique story, and it's very well constructed, very well tied together with all the elements of reality and fiction. So there we go. So that is The Truman Show. Definitely recommend that one. Okay, so the next film I want to talk about is called The Outlaws. It's available on Netflix, but I wouldn't bother with it. Totally wouldn't bother with it. It's abysmal, absolutely abysmal. Total dog shit of a film. Yeah, it stars Adam Devine, or Devine, who I don't know why he keeps getting employed. He's the most unfunniest person on the planet. Yeah, he's getting married to Nina Dobrev's character, you know, from the Vampire Diaries. The Outlaws are coming, you know, not the in-laws, the Outlaws, played by Pierce Brosnan and Ellen Barkin. He's worried about, you know, will he be accepted by her parents? And there's a whole element of, are they who they say they are, or are they secret bank robbers? This is one of those throwaway Netflix movies that would be on the platform and then probably would be taken off in about a month's time. Yeah, it's not funny. It was not funny at all. I didn't laugh once. The pacing is terrible. It's so slow. There are cringe moments with this Adam Devine or Divine. He acts like a 5-year-old. He's crass. Well, not, I wouldn't say crass, but he's just so unfunny. He's just an unfunny actor. And it's kind of like he's come from the Jim Carrey school of acting. It's all about facial movements and pulling weird faces. And although Jim Carrey does it much better, for me, I can understand why this film is so bad and why it's just crap. It's just crap. It's from Adam Sandler, another unfunny actor. I've never been into Adam Sandler films. I never find him funny at all. In fact, he's probably one of my worst liked actors in the world. Yet, granted, I haven't seen the serious stuff that he does, like Uncut Gems, and there was a few other ones as well. But this was really unfunny. The pacing was crap. It was slow. And this Adam Devine is just... it's too cringy. He's just too cringy to watch. I couldn't watch anything with him in. Just bypass it. Leave it there where it is until it gets taken off Netflix. Yeah, total dog shit. Okay, so next up, I want to talk about Alleluia. Yes, this is based on a play by Alan Bennett. There's a whole host of people in there. We've got Jennifer Saunders leading the cast. We've got David Bradley, you know, the caretaker from the Harry Potter films, and also he played the Doctor in Doctor Who. We have Russell Tovey, Derek Jacobi, and Judi Dench as well, and other people. This is the story of a geriatric ward in a hospital known as the Beth, which is the Bethlehem Hospital, which was founded back by Queen Victoria in the 1800s. And it's about their daily life there, and the nurses and the doctors, and also to do with like finance and government stuff, you know, how the NHS is failing the nurses and the doctors, and it's forced with closure. And they invite this documentary team, this newsroom team, to film a day in the life, basically, and interview all the patients and stuff like that, in a hope that maybe, you know, this wing might get saved. Now, when I first saw this trailer for this film, I thought, oh, that's going to be a nice little heartwarming comedy. And there are funny moments in it. There are a couple of laugh out loud moments, which also tickled me on the when I first saw the trailer. There's also a lot of heart in this film about relationships between, you know, the parents and the children. David Bradley plays an elderly patient who's kind of like estranged from his son, and it's to do with their connection. And we learn a little bit about the backstory of some of the patients, what they used to do, you know, in their lives. And it's about the daily struggles that the nurses have, you know, changing soiled bed sheets and helping patients, you know, everything that we know that nurses do, and doctors. And it is an uplifting film in a way, but it's also sad and tragic at the same time. Now, Jennifer Saunders' character, she plays like the head nurse. She kind of plays like the Hattie Jakes of this this wing, and for her long service, she's about to get some medal, you know, a recognition for her long service, caring for these patients. And it kind of, towards the end of the film, it turns a bit sinister, and there are other agendas at work, and it basically goes from a happy film to a tragedy and sad film. And they also throw COVID into the mix as well. It's basically a love letter to nurses and doctors and the NHS, but it is also a hate letter to the government and all these establishments that are trying to destroy it. So they're bringing their agendas into it. Now, there's a lot of politics in here. But overall, I enjoyed the film. As I say, it is a sad film, but it's also a happy film as well in certain areas. The cast are brilliant. David Bradley is fantastic. Jennifer Saunders, you know, I've never really seen anything that she's done as a leading lady in a film. Although I believe she was in the last Poirot film, you know, Death on the Nile, along with Dawn French. But we've got some classics here. We've got Dame Judi Dench, Derek Jacobi, you know, and David Bradley. These are icons of the British film and TV, you know, era. And everybody did a fantastic job, and the acting is absolutely spot on. You felt for them, you went along with the journey with these people, but you saw the sadder side as well. So yeah, it was a good film. It was a good film. It didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out. Like I say, there is a sinister side to the story as well. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And everybody was fantastic. Picture quality was great on this as well. And yeah, it was about an hour and a half, so not too long. But very good film. Okay, so next up we have Pearl. Yes, in a red case. Yes, I had to do it. Yes, this is the next chapter of the X story about Pearl, played by Mia Goth. This is directed by, is it Ty West? Yeah, this is the prequel to X. This is set in like 1918 at the end of the Second World War, where Pearl lives on, you know, the farm from X with her ailing father, who's succumbed to Spanish flu, and her overbearing mother, who's very strict. And she has daydreams, and she wishes that she could leave and pursue a career in Hollywood, be one of these dancing girls that she sees in these, you know, these films at the cinema. But there's something not quite right about Pearl. The film starts out very happy, very Hollywood, in the golden age. Even the music, you know, the cinematography is bright. The music is sweeping Hollywood epic music. And as the film progresses, as Pearl's real personality comes out, the music gets a bit more up-tempo. They throw in the drums, a lot of bass, and it kind of like turns into like horror type music. And she has all this pent-up anger inside her and wants to break out. And her mum's like, you know, you're nothing, you'll fail, you're no good, you deserve to be here in the farm looking after your father. And she starts to vent her frustrations and her anger on, starting off with, a couple of animals, but it moves on to humans. And talking of humans, who is in this film? That's right, Superman himself. No, not that one. What's his name? David Cohen Sweat. Yeah, he's the new Clark Kent, the new Superman in the new Superman Legacy movie. And this was my first opportunity to actually see him in action. And he has that Clark Kent feel to him. I think he's going to be really good as Clark Kent and Superman. Here he plays a projectionist at the local cinema who is attracted to Pearl. But her other side comes out, and it doesn't end well for him. Now, the location of this film, very familiar, you know, it's what you see in X, although a little bit more clean and new. And it was nice to see the barn where the guys were making the porno film, and seeing the house in the distance, and seeing this barn in its nice clean condition. The cinematography is really good. Like I say, most of the film is Hollywood sweeping fields and kind of like Mary Poppins, and the hills are alive with the sound of music, that sort of thing. Very cinemascope. But things get darker when blood comes into it, and the victims, and we get dirty basements, and it feels very Evil Dead horror-y as a look. As for Mia Goth herself, she was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic in this. All of her emotions came through, whether it be happy or whether it be, you know, sad, depressed, angry. And she really carried the film. She carried the film right through. And yeah, it was great. And even right up to the very end of the film, where she smiled for the camera, and she kept that smile. But you could also see the pain in her as well, as she was, you know, crying. But it's kind of like one of those old Hollywood images where, you know, the actress is captured on film and she has to hold that pose. Yeah, never mind about freezing the pose, you know, freezing the film. Just stay as still as you can and just smile. Yeah, I thought this was really good. I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed X as well. I thought that was a brilliant film. Her performance in this, fantastic. I'm really looking forward to Maxine now. I think that's going to be a really good one, and it's going to be a great trilogy. I think it's going to end up being a great trilogy. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, Pearl, fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Audio was brilliant on this, you know, with a sweeping Hollywood type music, and the thunderous beats of the kind of evil side towards the, you know, the later part of the film. Picture quality was brilliant. I really love a 4K on this. I would love a 4K. And it was bright. Like I say, first part of the film was bright and very colourful. And then it just, as the film goes on, it just gets darker and darker with reds and a kind of a gothic-y feel to it. So there we go. So that is Pearl with Mia Goth from Ty West. Yes. So definitely recommend this one. It definitely gets a big thumbs up for me. Yeah, loved it. Oh my God. Yeah, what are you doing, Paul? Okay, next up we have Jaws 2 on 4K. Yes, it's been a long time since I've seen this one. All I remembered from this one is the island, you know, the cable junction and the boats afloat and the shark frying. That's basically all I remember. The first hour and 10 minutes of this is kind of not that interesting. It's just Chief Brody, the island, you know, Amity, the townsfolk, people sunbathing. There's really not much shark action. It does have maybe 1 or 2 scenes, but it's all about them and like the mayor and the officials, you know, the council, I suppose. So not much happens, and the main part of the story is about, I wouldn't say high school kids, because again it falls into the Grease category. They're probably in their 20s, if not 30s, some of them, and they decide to go out on all these boats including Brody's 2 kids, his eldest son and his younger son. And they get attacked while they're out there sailing. And, you know, some people get bitten. Some people just like to shake their heads off. Yeah. If there was anybody in any film that needed to be eaten by a shark, it was her. And I swear, when they must have given her the script, she must have been reading it and it said, da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, scream. Scream like you've never screamed before. Imagine finding a 4K with no slipcover. So that's all she did, was scream and scream. Yeah, and that was a bit annoying. But other than that, yeah, it was good. It was good. It's not a patch on the first film. Of course, we're missing 2 of the key elements, Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw. Although we do have a John Williams soundtrack for this one. And yeah, the most of the action sort of like takes place in the last like 40-45 minutes of the film, but it doesn't have that grandeur of the first film. It doesn't have that sense of awe and the character interaction that the first film had. But it is a good film. It is a good film. The picture quality on this was really stunning. Best that it's ever looked. The only thing that let it down was the sound, which was just kind of mediocre. I think it was DTS HD Master Audio 2.0. There was no punch to it. It felt flat. It was just using up the fronts, and there was no use of the surrounds, of course. It lost that element. It really did lose that element. And the subwoofers never came to life. The first film, when the shark exploded at the end of the film, the subwoofer kicked in. But yeah, unfortunately, the audio wasn't very good. And it's a real shame that they didn't remaster it into, 5.1 or 7.1 or something like that. But there you go. You can't have everything, but it's a nice addition. They did well on the transfer, and I'm glad that we've got this. And also with the nice lenticular that really doesn't move apart from his bottom teeth. Yeah, this is a limited edition. I've got number 24 out of 2000, so it's quite kind of a low number. But all in all, I still enjoyed it. Probably a little bit more than back in the day. And yeah, it comes with a nice steelbook. Some nice artwork on there, nice glossy steelbook. But as I say, it was lacking what made the first film great. And I know what it's like for these people. I've been in the same situation. I was on a boat. There was a great white shark, and I almost lost my life. I got away with the skin of my teeth. And I even got a photograph at the end of it at Universal Studios. Yeah, so yeah, I know what it's like to be in such peril. And I think I remember turning to Mama Bowman at that time and saying to her, the shark still looks fake. Anyway, so that is Jaws 2. Good. Not a great film, but it's a good continuation of the Jaws franchise, and probably where it should have been left. Pretty much the same as Superman 1 and 2. Just ignore the other ones. Yeah, so there we go. So that is Jaws 2. Okay, so next up is Dark Water. That's a bit sinister, wasn't it? Yeah, Dark Water starring Jennifer Connelly and Doug Ray Scott. That's it. I was trying to remember his name. This is a American remake. It's a remake of, I think, a Japanese film from a couple of years beforehand, like 4 or 5 years beforehand, also called Dark Water, or Dark Waters. I think it might have been, no, it was Dark Water. Yeah, and this is about a woman, you know, played by Jennifer Connelly, who's going through a divorce and custody battle with her ex-husband, played by Doug Ray Scott. And it's like a tug of war, you know, who's going to have the young daughter. And she can't really afford to stay in the same vicinity as where her ex-husband, to be closer to the daughter. So she goes right across town to, what's it called? Roosevelt Island, by, you know, cable car. Is that where they did Kong? Isn't that where King Kong's set, with the cable cars? I don't know. Probably. Yeah. And the only place that she could afford is kind of like this rundown, really tall apartment block. That's a bit grubby, and the reception desk is not that exciting. You've got John C. Reilly, who plays kind of like the manager of the apartment block. You have Tim Roth, who ends up being Jennifer Connelly's lawyer. And you also have Pete Postlethwaite, yeah, who's kind of like the janitor, the mechanic. You know, if something goes wrong, he fixes it in the building. And she starts to settle in with her daughter. You know, her daughter goes to school nearby, which is, you know, just very close. But on the ceiling, there's this like black puddle. There's like this black dripping water. And she keeps on at, you know, the management, and keeps on at Pete Postlethwaite to fix it, to, you know, because it's coming from somewhere, you know, it's coming from the roof. And there's banging upstairs on the apartment above. There's some problems with tenants up there. The apartment upstairs keeps flooding. And I'm talking about flooding, you know, you could go swimming in that. And that's what's causing, you know, so much water to be, you know, dripping through the roof. It all connects to a woman and a child that used to live upstairs, who just vanished. And Jennifer Connelly's daughter starts talking about her new friend, her imaginary friend. And some weird stuff starts happening. It's not a full-on horror film, you know. Yes, there's like slamming of doors and moments that could be considered paranormal. But this film is more of a thriller. It's more of a thriller and an investigation, you know, finding out what happened to the people upstairs. There's no big horror element of the film, so I felt a little bit let down by that. I was expecting something along the lines of the woman in Black, something really scary, people that have perished and haunting her and her daughter. But it didn't go that far, unfortunately. It was still a good film. It was an okay film. It just didn't go where I thought it was going to go. Now, I have watched the trailer for the Japanese, I think it's Japanese, you know, this film was based on. That looks a lot more scary. It looks a lot more scary. Just watching it, you know, you identify with all the kind of scenes that they had in this. There was a lift shaft and the hotel lobby, and that it was very close to how it looked. But there was a bigger element of fear and horror in the Japanese version. So I might just watch that version and see how I get on with that one. But yeah, this was okay. It was okay. I don't know if it's going to be something that I'm going to watch again that soon. There are bigger horror films and bigger thrillers. This is more suspense. This is more suspense than horror. Yeah. But it is okay. It is okay. Jennifer Connelly was good. The little daughter was good. yeah, it was okay. There we go. Right, okay, so there we go. So that is the lot. That is everything that I've seen in the month of July 2023. Obviously, it doesn't include trips to the cinema because I have, you know, separate reviews for those. Doesn't include Poundland Bin or What Flick. They have separate videos. It's just basically ones that I've either taken off the shelf here, you know, in the cinema room, or movies that I've seen on streaming. Yeah, so there we go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Blah, 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 blah. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. And I'll see you on the next video very soon. Bye bye.